Introduction to Azure Synapse Ingestion from Kafka. Azure Synapse Analytics is a cloud-based analytics service that allows users to integrate and analyze data from various sources, including Apache Kafka. In this guide, we will walk through the step-by-step process of ingesting data from Kafka into Azure Synapse. Step 1. Understanding the requirements. To ingest data from Kafka into Azure Synapse, you need to have an Azure Synapse workspace, an Azure storage account, and a Kafka cluster. Ensure that the Kafka cluster is accessible from the Azure Synapse workspace. Step 2. Creating a Kafka connection. Create a new Kafka connection in Azure Synapse by navigating to the Integrations section and clicking on Link Services. Then select Apache Kafka and enter the Kafka cluster details, including the Bootstrap server, topic, and authentication credentials. Step 3. Creating a pipeline. Create a new pipeline in Azure Synapse by navigating to the Pipelines section and clicking on New Pipeline. Then add a Kafka source activity to the pipeline and configure it to connect to the Kafka connection created in the previous step. Step 4. Configuring the pipeline. Configure the pipeline to read data from the Kafka topic and write it to Azure Synapse. You can use Azure Synapse's built-in mapping data flows to transform and load the data into Synapse. Step 5. Deploying and monitoring the pipeline. Deploy the pipeline and monitor its execution in Azure Synapse. You can use Azure Synapse's monitoring and debugging tools to troubleshoot any issues that may arise during pipeline execution. Best practices for Azure Synapse ingestion from Kafka. To ensure successful ingestion of data from Kafka into Azure Synapse, follow these best practices. Ensure that the Kafka cluster is properly configured and scalable to handle high-volume data ingestion. Use Azure Synapse's built-in security features to authenticate and authorize access to the Kafka cluster. Monitor the pipeline execution and troubleshoot any issues that may arise during ingestion. Conclusion. Ingesting data from Kafka into Azure Synapse is a straightforward process that can be accomplished by following the steps outlined in this guide. By understanding the requirements, creating a Kafka connection, creating a pipeline, configuring the pipeline, deploying and monitoring the pipeline, and following best practices, you can successfully ingest data from Kafka into Azure Synapse and unlock new insights and analytics capabilities.